Kim'sKorner, a gig bag radio production.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to Timmy Sanger from Australia. Thank you for mixing and mastering my little jingle there. And now on to the show.
It
All
said
right,
gig bag.
we are live, boys and girls. Like we are recording. Hi, Georgia the Jungle.
Hello, Kim.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Thank you so much for joining us. Captain Pete is on here. Lady Wu is here.
Hi there.
Hi.
Say hi, Woo.
Hi, Wu. It's a party. How was the food, George? How was the food and drink?
The food in the green room was outrageous, and I really need to make another scotch, but we'll do that later, so go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll have our, you know what? We have 3 personal assistants, and they tend to your every need while you're with us.
3.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
3. Well, you know, we had to upgrade, you know, since Greg was here the last time, you know, so we had to upgrade. So, and George is a star. Like,
yes.
He's like Hollywood. You know what we're going to start doing? We're going to start doing a Hall of Fame, like, you know what they do in Hollywood, the stars, where you go and you put your palm prints. The Hollywood
Yes,
people do that. We're going to do that. You're going to be the first one. I'm going to figure out some like footprint or pick, a guitar pick, where you're just going to stick your print in there.
Yes.
And you'll be the first one.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So, well,
Next to
welcome.
mine.
What's that, Captain?
After mine.
After.
Right after my one.
Yeah, yours and Lady Wu and the 3 assistants and the sound tech guy and the dog
Do you
walker.
want me to back out now and let you guys do it?
Well, my favorite song of all time is probably "Tie Me Kangaroo Down," which was one of my favorites when I was younger. Very good.
Is that what inspired you to learn how to play the waterboard?
I can play "Tie Me Kangaroo Down," "Tie Me Kangaroo Down." Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic.
I remember.
The accent is really
lousy.
Bad. No, I mean great.
Yes.
It's great.
He is
No,
the South Carolina crocodile hunter.
Yes.
You know what? I just realized, since I'm the one editing this show, like I can say anything I want.
That's right, and you can edit out later.
That's right.
Well, when you talk to Kim on the phone, you really don't talk to Kim. Kim talks to you, I think is the way it works.
You noticed that?
Yeah.
It's really my own form of mafia. It's like
A conversation you can't refuse.
That's right.
That's right. If you leave in a body bag. So, first of all, I'll just do a little introduction to this show, which is, or just generally speaking, this is Kim's Corner. And how this all started is I did my own interview with Gig Bag Radio, and Lady Wu and Captain Pete were so kind. We had a great time, and we just decided that, hey, maybe I could every so often do some sort of special as a little bit of filler. So we just came up with possibly themed, maybe once a month, once every month, whatever works best for them. In reality, I am their daughter. I am the daughter of Gig Bag Radio, of Captain Pete and Lady Wu. And I greatly appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. So I will say this, and Captain Pete and Lady Wu can attest, in a courtroom, this would completely bear witness that the first person I said I wanted on this little Kim's Corner special was George Schiessl, right, guys?
No.
No.
I mean, yes.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, after 10 other people,
Right.
the first person was George.
Right.
No. That's, and they know that's true. I actually have proof. I save all of my conversations with the captain just because you need to have that backing.
In case,
because in
case of a court case, you need that backing.
Exactly, because something's going to go down with him eventually. So anyway, so welcome George of the Jungle. Yay!
Yes, happy to be in Kim's Corner. Yes.
So we did talk this past week over the telephone, and I did, out of 45 minutes, talk 43 and a half minutes
Sure.
of that conversation.
Correct.
But I just want to say in my defense, okay, is the fact, besides that I'm a constant nag and a constant chatter, is the fact that honestly, I was so excited. I was thrilled to be able to talk to who I consider kind of an idol in my little slice of the world of the music industry. And that's on this website called compose.com. For anyone who's not familiar out there, way out there in Radioland, compose.com is an online collaboration website where we can meet and talk and chat with other people. Oh, and by the way, and make a little music too, if it gets to that. So when George and I kind of met and started doing some collaboration together, he was just immediately, I think in the first 3 days, I completely idolized him. He can do it all. He can do everything. George, tell me how many instruments you play.
Oh, I play some keyboards. Bass is my main instrument. I play mandolin, guitar, not very well, but I can muddle along with that. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, there's nothing else.
George. No, sir. You forgot one of your most important instruments.
Oh, my voice. Yes, I can sing once in a while. It's very painful. Painful to some, and others I say it's all right.
No, because you have a storytelling voice. I like that. I like that about your voice, as it tells a story. It's almost like in some ways you wouldn't need words, because the way you use that instrument, the way you pronounce and enunciate, and your tone and inflection, it just tells a story. You can tell if you're singing the blues. You can tell if you're singing rock. It's not you make the song with your vocals. I love it. But I'm not just feeding you a bunch of poo.
Right, no poo, please.
A bunch of radio poo, because I have literally stalked you, I think, for the first 3 months. Didn't I just go around and audition bomb you the whole time?
Absolutely.
I did. Anyway, like I was saying, Kim's Corner is going to be more of a themed show. And what we have coming up in November, which is November 1st today, but in November at the end of our month is, for Americans, a very, very big holiday. And it's Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving holiday, where we...
Give thanks.
100%. We give thanks. That's right. Thanks for rebellion. That's what we give thanks for. So we formed a small, little, insignificant nation, and a few hundred years later, look how far we've advanced from when the first Pilgrims. They did their own radio show then, but they didn't have all the gear. But how do you think all those Indians came, really? It was through a broadcast.
Drums, broadcast the drums.
Drums, that's right. That's right. Smoke signals were the first, first radio. So this is going to be our Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to interject at least some thanks, if I remember. If I remember. And if not, then I'll just edit everything else in. So the first thing, though, that I did want to do was chat a little bit with our celebrity guest.
Very famous in my own mind.
In your own mind, and at least 300 people. Because everybody who's on this online collaboration website, and then other people outside in your local area, you sing in a band and everything, they know George. George is definitely a celebrity in in many respects. But first of all, before we get to the music, I want to know some of your traditions you do on Thanksgiving. What do you, your family,
Well,
whatever?
I mean, we just
Chat
do
about
the
that.
typical Thanksgiving stuff, turkey with the stuffing and mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, green bean casserole is very big, and
Yes.
my wife's
Yes.
very famous for her carrot cake, so that's where we go. Yes.
Are you joking with that?
Carrot cake,
Carrot
mixed
cake?
from scratch. Yes.
That is, that's my
We'll
absolute
send
favorite
you some
cake.
So.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'll
Okay,
show up at your door. That's not a problem.
Remember, no, you
Just set
can't.
an extra
The restraining order. Remember that? That was the problem.
That's right. That was the problem last time. That's right. So, what is your favorite dish then?
At Thanksgiving,
served?
my favorite. I like the
Yes.
turkey, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. Yeah, I'm down. Yep, give me that. Oh, and honey baked ham too. That's very good. Yes.
Yes. So, does Carolyn make both then, the honey baked ham
She
and the
buys the honey
turkey?
baked ham from the honey baked ham company. Yes,
She's a wise
but she
woman.
makes her own turkey. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Wow. So, is it usually at your house? or do you
Usually
go
it's been at
somewhere,
our
or-
house, but since a couple years ago we have a new grandchild, so it's very difficult for them to come up now for Thanksgiving. So we've been going down there the last couple of years. They're in Charleston, South Carolina, about 2 hours south of us here in Myrtle Beach. So we've been going there.
Very
so it's okay. All right. So do you remember the first song that we sang a duet on?
Oh, golly.
Yeah, it's got to be Three
No.
Times.
Oh, right. 3 times a day. So let's do that then. Let's go through your song list. So what we're going to do, since this show really truly is mostly about music and not me chatting people up, we're going to go through some of George's top. These aren't, of course, his extensive list. There's no way we could get through George's comprehensive list. It would fill up like volumes and volumes, but at least some of his top songs. So the first one is
just called
Three Times a Lady, right?
3 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's. I'm sorry, I did the wrong one. Okay, so do you have that
I
online
could.
right now? Do you have that up?
Could.
Okay, so talk us through this. This is the song 3 times by Mikael
Right,
Lind,
Fret
right
Noises
from
from
Sweden. He's Fret Noises.
From Sweden. And if I remember the history of this, he had put up a track with some MIDI drums and his guitar. And that's kind of how it started. Then I put a bass part on, and he liked that. And of course, after you spend some time with a song, 15, 20 minutes playing it over and over, you start to get some things in your head about words and whatnot. So, and if I remember correct, I just kind of made them up as I went along, which is very cool. So I did a lead vocal thing, and he liked it, surprisingly. And then all of a sudden, Kim, that was in the early days when you were stalking me extensively. So you had jumped right in there and put your part
That's
on.
right.
And it turned into a really cool duet.
It did.
And it's kind of like one of my favorites that we ever did together. And that's 3 times it's called. So let's listen to that now.
Every night, it seems so wrong.
were doing on the list was sound sketches. And I feel like, to be honest, I kind of strong-armed you
Okay.
into this one. But this is another duet, so I might try and, you know, rearrange them in the show. But I love this one.
Sure.
Can I say that? That I wanna marry this song. It's so to me everything that I love about Compose, even just the way that it happened. And I guess maybe in some ways it happened similar to 3 times, even though now we're fast forwarding, you know, 4 or 5 months of working together. So basically, you know, all George and I do when we want to collab with one another, you know, we don't even use the standard disclaimers anymore of, you know, if you're interested in this, only if you have time, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's George's like basically, Kim, you know, do something with this. George, I need your bass, you know, stuff like that. And most of the time we can get to it. So that's what happened here, I believe anyway, is that George uploaded a fantastic track, and I want to spotlight, and lyrics, perfect lyrics for the song, even though he says he's not a lyricist. It really was such an easygoing, laid-back song, and his lyrics fit perfectly. And then I think I even commented like, oh, you know, this is such a great vocal. And you said, hey, Kim, add something to this. Well, it ended up being just one of my favorite songs. And this is started by, you know, another major idol. I only have like 2 or 3 that I really look up to. And his name is Nicola Affidani.
Awesome.
He's from Italy.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. How do you describe Nicola?
Yeah,
he's just like
he's
father
the maestro
figure,
for sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He is the Italian maestro, and he just like kind of sits up there on his throne, doling out these amazing masterpieces. But anyway, so it's his project, right? And he called it Sound Sketches, which is a great name for it because that's exactly sonically what it was. It was just like this beautiful sketch of a song, but then George added
and I think I
his
put a
vocal
bass
lyrics.
on it too,
You put a bass on it, which you typically do with Nicola's songs, right? You're kind of his bass. And then it ended up being a duet, and then at the very tail end, this guy named Rod from Australia, actually, and I've worked with him now a couple times, and he is such a laid-back guy from Australia. He cracks me up because, as you can imagine, I'm not so much, and he is so much laid back. But we just work really well together. So I had asked him actually to take a listen to see if he could add anything. And he added a saxophone, I think, at the beginning and stuff. And it just was really, I just thought he did such a great job. Nicola ended up liking it, and so I forced George to put it into the mix. So this is Sound Sketches featuring George, his bass, all the love he does, and what he does so well. Which is everything. Sing, write, play, all of that. Okay, so here's Sound Sketches.
My eyes are on you.
My reflection in the glass. My eyes are on you. Anything that came to pass, I keep my eyes on you. Keep my
eyes on you.
In the sunshine, in the wintertime, in the meantime.
Keep my eyes on you.
Makes me smile. I keep my eyes on you.
I keep my eyes on you.
My
I keep
eyes
my eyes on you.
on you.
I keep my eyes on you. My eyes are on you. My eyes on you.
My eyes on you.
My eyes on you.
My eyes on
I forgot how much I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next song is
Oh, Bootlegger, very cool song.
Bootlegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Do you have your computer up that you can go to it and
Hold on.
introduce it for us?
Bootlegger, very cool.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, so Bootlegger, yeah, Gelectric.
Every time I
Electric.
see his name, I always want to be like,
Yeah.
it's Electric.
Well, that's Don Tony. Yeah. Yeah. So Don put up the track, and then Tracy Hutchinson put up the words for Bootlegger. So I stumbled upon it, and
Okay.
he was looking for some bass, so I put some bass on, and again, that was the same story, you know, just playing along with it. Took the words, and some melody line came in my head, and so I laid it down, and then Larry McGee from San Antonio, Texas, put a butt-kicking fiddle on that boy, and it's really a cool song. It's one of my favorite collaborations. I think it's I could see it like as on a TV theme song for a show. You know, it's that kind of thing. So if there's ever a show that's called Bootlegger, we'll submit it over there. Right
Yeah,
away,
we will.
I think.
And you know, the thing about Larry is he's not on as much as I know we'd all like him to be, but he's not on much. But whatever he uploads is like, it's awesome, right? It's like professional. I've never heard him upload. And like I said, he's not on that much. So I usually hear most of what he does. That kid is like, and he is so nice. He is just a really nice guy, very involved in the project, wants to see it succeed.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
versatile.
Yes. Bootlegger.
Drive down a holler where there ain't even a road. You never seen a face and you don't wanna know. You never look twice in the misty moonlight when you're sneaking in to pick up the shine. Bootlegger, bootlegger, burning up the road. Bootlegger, bootlegger, how heavy is your load? Bootlegger, bootlegger, how fast can you fly? You got two choices, shed with just your running lights, ready to hit the gas if things ain't quite right. You get it all unloaded, now it's someone else's stash. Time to find the money man and get your hand of cash. Bootlegger, burning up the road. Bootlegger, how heavy is your load? Bootlegger, how fast can you fly? You got two choices, make money or do time. Do time. Bootlegger, burning up the road. Bootlegger, how heavy is your load? Bootlegger, how fast can you fly? You got two choices, make money or do time. Do time. All right. No time. All right. Do time.
Could you introduce me anytime I walk into a room?
Yes.
Could you just introduce
And
me?
here she is, Kim Nova. Thank you, Kim.
Oh, okay. The next song
Yeah.
is kind of a fan favorite of mine, to be honest. Play something
Funky for me.
funky.
Oh, now
Right.
there's a funny story there. Okay.
Yes.
So-
I want to hear it.
So it was a Friday night, and I had a band job, and had to get to, and it was about 7 o'clock or so, and I had to leave in like an hour, and then all of a sudden this like little thing came into my head, and I said, okay, well, yeah, just real simple funk thing. So I did my drum machine, turned that on, and did a bass track, and did the outline of the vocal, and posted it up before I went out to the gig. And I said, it's a funk jam, everybody join in. Well, that thing, I don't know how many tracks were on that, but it just kind of took off. Everybody jumped in and did a little part here and there. That was really, really a cool thing. And it just started with a bass drum and a vocal, and you can hear like all the other stuff that came in on top of it. And very, very cool. One of my absolute favorites, and everybody on the site got involved, which is really, really cool.
And it's like, I remember this, like, if they weren't involved musically, they were commenting. Like, every person came out of the woodwork to listen to this song at one point.
Yeah.
I just remember that happening. You know, there's Fret Noises, there's the other Michael, Gabbro Jazz,
Mhm.
Mike JM,
Yeah.
Fig Sounds,
Yeah.
Lil Joe Six, Stratcast,
Yeah.
Sloppy, Nicola.
Yeah. Tracy. Yeah. You know, the funny part is all the lyric guys that don't sing, they just write the words. All of a sudden, they were singing on it.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
cool.
you know, when you're getting the lyric guys to sing, then you know, yeah, you got a fun song. You have George,
Yeah.
Jipe or Juan Pablo. We have Audio Agenda.
Mhm.
We have Studio City.
Mhm.
Pascal, of course, who mixed the whole thing, and then Mike Caruth,
Yeah.
who's from North Carolina.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Very cool. Play something funky for me.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Play something funky for me. Play something funky for me. Play something funky for me.
Can you dig it?
Play something funky for me. You gotta do it
Yo, so this day I was chilling at school when this girl showed up and I started to drool. She said, hey there, you look kinda cool, and I invited her over cause I'm not a fool. I brought her home with me, she saw my CDs. She looked at me, said, you still use these? Well, you see I got MP3s, but never mind, won't you play something funky for me?
When I hear that funky music,
Get down and boogie.
when I hear that funky music,
Get down and boogie.
when I hear that funky music, when I hear that funky music, let's come on.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
That's right.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Like that groove right here.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
It's all right.
Can you dig it? Alright.
Play something funky for me.
Can you dig it?
Play something funky for me.
Can you dig it?
Play something funky for me.
Can you dig it?
Play something funky for me. Now, take it.
Alright.
Okay, so let's chat a little bit, George, about your music background, because I am dying to know, like, when you started. I mean, you're only like what, 32,
Right.
so you haven't been around that
Not
long.
at all. No. It's
So
very young.
you know, yeah. For the last few years, you decided to dabble in music.
So I started playing bass when I was 13 years old, and my parents got me bass lessons from a guitar teacher. So that didn't really help. So I wound up teaching myself, I think. And then when I went to college, I was a music major, and my instrument was the cello. And the reason I had to do the cello was because I had a Volkswagen Beetle for a car, and I could not fit a double bass into the car, so I wound up playing cello, which is very strange. But then I wound up dropping out of college as a junior because the band I was in at the time, we had just signed a 2-album deal with an old label called Casablanca Records back in the day, and that was
Oh, super cool.
and that was Donna Summer was the big artist at that time,
Awesome.
and we recorded 2 albums at the Caribou Ranch in Colorado, which is a very famous recording studio that Jimmy Gershio from Chicago had built. And
Oh, cool.
and the first night we were there, the engineer took us down into the studio and played us the rhythm track to Elton John's song Philadelphia Freedom. Okay, because he was just there the week before we arrived and had done that recording there, and it kind of blew my mind. Just the rhythm track for that song was totally amazing. But, so anyway, so that's a good story. But
That's an awesome story. Wow.
yeah, but we recorded 2
That's
albums.
what we need.
2 albums, and we had no hits. And so what happens when you don't have any hits? Of course, the label drops you. And so from there, when that
Big mistake.
yeah,
Big mistake on their part.
I know. And from there, we kind of merged into this Rolling Stones tribute band called Sticky Fingers. And we toured all through New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut for we did that for 11 years. Rolling Stones tribute band, Sticky Fingers. We had a great Mick. He was the Mick of Micks. He was the next best thing to Mick Jagger. He was totally cool. So we did that for a long time, and that was a lot of fun. And then after that, I did a blues band for a few years, and then we wound up moving to South Carolina, and we've been here 20 years now. It'll be this month 20 years, and and I was here. I was very upset moving down here. I had to leave my band, and I was on the train, subway going to New York, and a good friend of mine who's a good harmonica player, Rob Paparosi, sat next to me on the train. I told him I was leaving, and he said, "George, don't worry. Good musicians find good musicians." So once I got down here to South Carolina, I did actually hook up with a couple good musicians, and I've had my little trio band here for 20 years, and we keep playing. So that's what we've been doing here down at the beach.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, how often do you go out and play live?
We do 2 or 3 times a month kind of thing. That's all. It's not full time forever and everything.
Right.
Yeah. The pay is not very good here at the beach. So if you get $100 a man a gig, that's considered good, and it's been that way for 20 years.
The pay is heart.
That's correct,
right,
correct.
And experience.
Yes, you don't do it.
Who can put a price tag on that?
No one. No one.
A label could.
Right.
A label could.
For sure.
No, I'm joking. Most people who know me know that I'd much rather have the experience and the, and I know everybody says that, particularly when you don't have any money.
Right.
It's easy to say that, but it really is. And George is definitely, from what I know of him, is the exact same way. And even if he did get money, from a music label, he would still be the same George.
That's right.
That's for sure.
I wouldn't have changed at all. I'm sure.
He wouldn't have changed at all.
Well, the cool thing I found with Compose, and harking back to the advice from Mr. Rob Paparosi, who said, "Good musicians always find good musicians." And that's, I think, the cool thing about Compose. After I discovered that, it was everybody picks their own, kind of people that they like working with, and they kind of stick with them. It's cool, I enjoy
it is.
That.
Although it's funny that you say that, because I don't think of you like that, to be quite honest.
No.
You when you go through your list now. So for people who don't know, with the online music collaboration, there are, and I don't know it as well. I mean, I sound like an expert. I'm by no means an expert. I don't really know how the whole website works completely, but the main part is on your profile, on an artist profile. You can go through and see all the collaborations they've started and all the collaborations they've joined. If you go to George's collaborations he's joined, it's extensive.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
a
like,
lot of 'em.
and I'm not even saying with regular, you know, the same usual suspects.
No, not at all.
I was actually just talking with someone the other day and saying it would be so great. And I don't want to pretend like I came up with this idea. I did see this as an idea, as a suggestion from someone else. And I just thought that's a marvelous idea, but is have a cross reference. So if you put, say, my name and George's name, you know, in, it will cross reference every collaboration we've done together.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you did that with George, yeah, that'd be cool, I think. But if you did that with George, it's like you might as well just go through the database of Compose, because George's name would come up with everyone.
Yeah,
To me,
I
like that.
I like playing on all different kinds of music. You know, I don't box myself into heavy metal, or I can't sing heavy metal. I've auditioned for some heavy metal song, and the guys come back to me like, "That was nice, but you know, no, thank you." So I've given up on that totally, completely. But I can play bass on a heavy metal song, and they think it's great because I use my 5-string and get that low heavy metal stuff, and that's good. But definitely no singing on heavy metal. Kim, you either. I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't know what you're talking
All
about.
right.
I definitely have a heavy metal voice. Actually, you know, it's funny because I think that is what happens, right, George? Is you end up doing and trying and auditioning for things that you probably normally wouldn't, you know, either have the umption to do or think you could do, but
Right.
it's just fun to be able to try
Exactly. And as long as you can handle rejection, you're fine, you know.
Right.
Most people are nice, but once in a while you get somebody who's like, come on, you know, what are you doing? Say,
Right.
okay, nice try.
Yeah, no, I get that more often than you, but yes, I definitely
Yes.
understand.
Well,
I did try a progressive rock once. I've done a couple progressive rock, but I did try one, and the person was like, "Are you joking with this? Like,
right.
is this a joke?"
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's very true that being a singer and adding to collaborations, you feel a lot more, shall we say, undressed than when you're playing an instrument, you know? Because a
Okay.
bass is a bass is a bass. It's going to sound like a bass, and a guitar is going to, it's just the different notes you play. But when you sing, that's your unique instrument. And
Okay.
really, it really takes a lot of gumption for people on this site to go and, you know, put their voice out there, because, you know, that's a thing that's kind of unique to you, and it's not going to hit all the people in the right way, you know. So
Right.
I give all the singers a heck of a lot of credit for jumping in and doing these things, because, you know, they're really laying themselves out when they do that. It's way different than an instrument. Agreed. My personal
Right.
opinion on that. But
No, that's good stuff, because I don't play an instrument. I mean, I am totally envious of all of you who can. I don't play an instrument, so I don't have that experience by any means. So that's good. That's good to know.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so. Thank you for that,
I,
Lady Wu. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry, I'm
No,
talking over you.
no, just with the last bit that George was saying. Captain was sitting here nodding in agreement, and he said, yes, so true, you know, about the vocals being, you know, bearing all.
It's an instrument you have that nobody else has.
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's funny.
Mhm.
I've never even thought about it, to be quite honest, that way. That's very, not only it's a bit profound, even though I know that word is used quite a bit, but it really is, particularly for someone who doesn't play an instrument. You know, I don't know what it's like to play bass or drums or, you know, anything like that. So to think about it, oh yeah, that is one of, I guess, the only instruments, unless everybody handmade their instruments, that are completely unique to
Yeah,
the
you
person.
can sing the
So
same note.
Well, I thought you were going to start to play the cajon.
I know, George.
Yeah, you got to play
Oh,
the cajon.
I so want
Yeah.
to, but I'm not skinny enough for
Ah,
that.
you can sit on the cajon. No big deal.
You know, I let me just say, you are such an influence on me when you posted. So the little bit of background here is, I don't know, someone George collaborated with posted something about, hey, need drums. And I jokingly said something like, oh, I'd like to do that if I could play the drums. So George posted this YouTube video, and said, "Hey, here, practice the cajon, Kimmy. You know, get going on this." So I played it, and it was this beautiful woman in skinny
Yeah, from
jeans
England.
from
Yeah.
England. Yeah, playing, and she sang,
Yep, she
right? She had this
sang. Yep.
deep,
Yep.
soulful, perfect voice,
Yep.
and sang. And so afterwards, when I watched her like 3 or 4 times. I went and started banging on my coffee table, trying to
Good.
do it. but to no avail. So I'll keep
Yeah.
trying though. I did record the. I have recorded finger snaps and a
Cool.
shaker for
That's
an
good.
audition. So and a whistle. I did do a
Whistles
couple
are good.
whistles too.
Absolutely.
So
Cool. Well, you'll get there someday.
Well,
You're young.
yeah, someday. That's
Mhm.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm just a punk. That's all I am. So while we're talking about that, while we're on that, a little known fact about George. This is how much he cares about the people on Compose. He didn't know I was going to say this. I hope he doesn't mind, actually, now that I think about it. But so George had asked me to audition some vocals a couple of times, which every time he does, when it's his vocals on there, I'm so intimidated because his vocals are perfect. So I went through and I auditioned, and George private messaged me. I don't know if you'll remember this, and the details are fuzzy, but so you private messaged me and said, "Hey, you know, Kim, these are fine. These are, you know, you're great, whatever. But what mic are you using?"
I remember. Yeah.
Yes. And so I told him what microphone, and my gear woes are like, first of all, I have no gear to speak of. So that's why I never, ever talk about gear. Secondly, the gear that I do have / had was horrible. So George is like, "Hey, I had this mic, you know, hey, it's here. I'm going to upgrade. Do you want it?" And I'm like, you know, well, yeah, I guess I want to try it or whatever. He's like, "No worries, Kim. I'm gonna let you." I mean, we barely
Yeah.
know each other. Like, we barely know each other. It's online, and he's like, I'm gonna send it to you. You try it out. If you don't like it, just return it." There was like no requirement of down payment, you know, firstborn, blood sample, anything. Like, for all he knew, I could be like, you know, recording from prison. He didn't know. Like I could be finishing out a prison term. So he let me try out this mic, which I ended up loving and keeping. And he sent it to me with I mean, to me, George, that like spoke volumes about who you were as a person, not only as this stellar musician that I already was starting
Well, I
to
think
look up to.
you know, when you
So-
meet people, you can generally tell what type of person they are, even if you're just talking to them online and you know just listening to all the stuff. I knew you were a genuine person there, and you know, a kind heart and a good soul. So I wasn't worried in the least, Kim.
So the next song that I just thought was really important, I didn't really even ask you beforehand about it, was Scarlet Fever. I just thought it was important because it recently came up, right? Talk us through a little bit about Scarlet Fever, George.
Well, Scarlet Fever, I told you earlier about the Casablanca Records deal back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And this was my band at the time. It was called Sam the Band, and and this particular song was on our first studio album, and it was sung by my dear best friend and songwriting partner for many years. His name is Glenn Bell, and Glenn sang the crap out of this one. and unfortunately, the reason the only copy I had of it was an old you know, vinyl LP, and so I kind of put it up on the site because I had found out a couple months ago that Glenn had passed away unexpectedly in his apartment in Las Vegas. I'm tragically all alone, but they just found him. He had died of a heart attack or whatever. So that was a blow. So I figured, well, I was thinking, what's my favorite Glenn song that he ever sang? And I think it was Scarlet Fever. So I threw it up on the site as a tribute to him. And some of the great people there took that vinyl recording and got all the scratches and stuff out of it and posted some things for me to listen to. So that it means a lot just to remember. And I remember like a few days after I put it up and that was there, and he had like, 400 and something people had listened to it, and I kind of looked up to heaven and I said, there you go, Glenn. You're number one now, buddy. So, yeah, meant a lot. That meant a lot. Really did. Yeah, Scarlet Fever, and listen to the amazing voice of Glenn Bell. He is truly was an amazing singer. Probably still is. Still singing somewhere up on heaven's highest hill, I imagine. So, yeah, but let's spin that one and let's listen to it.
apart, but she's just a memory. She's just a memory.
Cool. Cool. All right, let's go lighter now, please.
I know.
Dredging up all these
Well,
things.
I
Oh
know,
God,
no,
help me.
no.
They're all gonna die. Oh
The
no.
apocalypse. The
Oh
apocalypse
no.
is coming. Well, you know, as just not because I have any forethought whatsoever, but the very next one is Lover Man. So
Yeah, cool.
So, you know, George he's not a fighter man, he's a lover man.
That's right. All right, Lover Man was cool. Definitely a good number there. It started with a lyric that the gentleman, what's his name? Hold on. Lover Man. Who was that guy?
Oh,
Keith Hooks
okay.
was the guy.
All right.
Yeah, he wrote
Stephen
the
Lowe
words.
or Stephen
Yes.
Lowen.
Stephen Lowen from Yonkers, New York. He's from Yonkers. Yeah. So anyway, he had it started with his post with the lyric, and I kind of did the music and the melody and made a little track of it and put that up, and then Billy Bob Rogers, who's someone else, obviously, but right. He did the drums and played this amazing freaking slide guitar. So drummer that plays slide guitar, go figure. And Andre Williams from United Kingdom played I think piano on that. And then another guy, Timo from Finland, played the B3, or it might have been the other way around, but one of those. And then this strange woman from Connecticut named Kim Noble happened to jump into it, and she barged the door down, and put backup vocals on this, and it's a really cool little 3-minute and change song, which I like, and yeah, so it's called Lover Man. So play that Lover Man, Kimmy.
Baby, I heard you're looking for someone new. You're interviewing candidates to find the one for you. Well, honey, look me over. Tell me if I'm the one. 'Cause when it comes to loving, man, I get the job done. I wanna love you every day. Baby, here's my resume. I want to apply to be your lover man. Since I met you, baby, I'm ready to settle down. As for education, I know what I'm speaking of. Summa cum laude from the University of Love. I wanna love you every day. Baby, here's my resume. I want to apply to be your lover man. been loved before. And when I'm done loving you, I'm gonna love you some more. For better or worse, till death do us part. You're the only girl for me, you're forever in my heart. I'm gonna love you every day. Oh, baby, here's my resume. I want to apply to be your lover man. 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 So what's your decision, baby? Is it gonna be me? Your lover man. Come on, you don't even have to pay me. I'm gonna work this job for free. Every night I pray to God above. Your lover man. I hope you make me your vice president. Your lover man. In charge of love. Your lover man. Your lover man.
All right, so you want
So
me
what
to-
are you thinking?
I'll go get the guitar and we'll see if we can pull this off. All right, hold on. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me go get it. So, remember how it goes, right? Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest the dime,
And you say you belong to me, and ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine.
so happy together.
So happy together.
And I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you, and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I gotta do lost. Ah, da, 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 me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. Ba-da-da-da, we're happy together. Ba-da-da-da, so how is the weather? Da-da-da-da, we're happy together. Da-da-da-da, we're happy together. Da-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba.
I'm sorry, I totally destroyed it because I didn't know how it ended.
There you go.
I know.
We'll
Thank
have to
you.
brush up on your 60s music,
I
please.
guess so. I guess so. I guess we weren't going to do Britney Spears, huh?
No, not tonight. Delay. Don't delay.
So
Very cool.
this is where we sign off. This to me is the saddest part of the show right here because I hate goodbyes. I really do. I do. But first of all, I want to thank George Schiessl. Woo! Yeah, George! Thank you, for giving me such a fabulous maiden voyage experience for the first time doing this. To me, it really could not have done it with anyone else but you. First time, such a novice, everything like that. And you gave us, all of us here, so much material to work with. Thank you. So thank you, George, for that.
Thank you guys. Thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed our time together.
And if you're local, check out George's band. Right? Do
Yeah.
you guys have a website?
No.
But well, hold on.
Ignorance is bliss.
But they can, if you want, you can contact me, KimNobleMusic@gmail.com. If you're local, for some reason, listening to this, to the 6 people that'll listen to it.
Right.
But if for some reason it happens or you're there, and I can get you the email list, because there is an email list that goes out. I'm on it.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
and then of course, thank you to Gig Bag Radio and the fine folks in Australia,
Yes.
Captain Pete and Lady.
Hey, mate.
Tie me kangaroo down. Sport.
It's been great to meet you, George.
Same here, man.
Very
Good.
enjoyable to listen to.
Lots of fun.
Find out all about you.
At least he stayed awake, Kim. That's a good sign. So.
That's a good sign so far.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, listen.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
George.
All right. See you later.
Hey, thanks for listening. And if you're around for next month, be sure to tune in for another special featuring Christmas and jazz, and hopefully some more live music and another fun and heartfelt interview. And if you would like to be a featured musician or producer on Kim's Corner, please contact me at kimnoblemusic@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and be sure to check out Gig Bag Radio and support them by either listening, sharing, and donation. And you can find them at www.gigbagradio.com.
Kim's Corner, Kim's Corner. Everything happens at Kim's Corner. Take it, make it, break it, but always celebrate it. All along at Kim's Corner.
Kim's Corner, a Gig Bag Radio production.